Bro, can you believe what we saw last night?
You know what? I can't believe what I've seen all year, Ev. I got to tell you, bro. I mean, this team, look, I mean, I've seen every year. I mean, I've seen it all. The 120 losses right on up, 69, 73, 86, 2015, all, nothing has been like this. Gary Cohen had the great call, and it really kind of, after they made the playoffs when he said from 0-5 to OMG. And that's really what it's been. I mean, they're on this magical run. They win games. How about to me, this is the most amazing thing about this baseball team, and we have seen it all year, okay? How many games they don't hit 5 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings. We saw it in the clincher against Atlanta. We saw it during the regular season. How many times the game in Toronto, they get no hit for 8 innings. Lindor hits a home run. They come back and win the game. This happens over and over and over again, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mind-boggling. And then all of a sudden, last night, it's out after out after out. Lindor gets the only 2 hits, one fly ball after another. You're thinking, man, we're dead in the water.
Yeah.
We're dead in the water. And then here comes the 9th inning. Lindor walks, Nimmo gets the hit, and Pete hits the 3-run home run. And it's, boy, what a tremendous moment. And for Pete, I know a lot of people, even me sometimes, I'm saying, Pete's writing his ticket out of town here with what's going on, And for him to hit that homer last night, man, just unbelievable. And hopefully now this gets him off the snide, and we see him get red hot going forward now into this Philly series and, hopefully beyond. And I'll tell you, bro, with the way this team is right now, I mean, how can I believe that they can't go deep here, real deep?
When Pete came up after that incredible Lindor at-bat, which is going to be underrated, but one of the great at-bats you'll ever see against Devin Williams, and even Nimmo behind in the count. When Pete came up, what did you honestly think was going to happen?
I didn't know. He got to the count, got to 3-1. I think I was probably thinking walk. When he got, excuse me, bro, when he got to 3-1, I was thinking, okay, Pete's going to walk, bases loaded. Iglesias is coming up next. He's been huge with the base, with runners in scoring position. He's had this ridiculous year. That's what I was thinking. And then when he hit it, you could see that he knew it was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he did his thing, what he does when he, kind of double clutches the bat, like, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And he hits it, and he knew it was gone. And it just, I mean, it's a moment, we don't have a lot of moments, bro.
No.
You and I, let's be honest. I mean, we root for different hockey and basketball teams, but even then, there's not a lot of moments that we get. And certainly our baseball team, our football team, and we have had so many moments. I mean, just this week alone.
I know. Just this week. It's nuts to think about.
Right?
And I know that you and I were lockstep in March. We want Pete back. We want this guy to be a long-term Met. And he tested all of us this year because he did not have a great year. And it felt like he was choking under the pressure over the last few weeks.
No question.
I honestly thought after the foul drop.
Oh, yeah. How bad was that?
I thought to myself, he's done here. Like, he is not going to be able to recover.
This is our last memory of Pete. Yeah. Now, it didn't hurt him. Thankfully, it didn't hurt him.
Right.
And by the way, give Diaz tremendous credit here. I mean, to me, Edwin Diaz has moved himself. He might be the greatest closer we've ever had. I mean, you got to start to talk about him in that conversation. And what a week this guy's had. He blows the game in Atlanta. He doesn't cover first with that play with Alonso.
Right.
And he comes back. Give me, you know what he said to Carlos.
Yep.
Give me the you-know-what ball. And he closes it out after Lindor hits the home run. I think he's thrown 105 pitches in the last week. And even yesterday, he got 5 outs, kept him in the game. They were stealing bases on him left and right. And it didn't matter. You got to give Diaz tremendous credit.
Tons of credit. Man. Jose Quintana gave an incredible performance.
Was he?
Yeah.
Now, what is this? Sanger's pitching tomorrow? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. What a stunner this is.
Are you kidding me?
Do you hate it or do you like this move?
No. What's there to hate? Bro, right now, I know you don't think house money, but the Mets are playing with tremendous house money, and that makes them even more dangerous. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Phillies were rooting for Milwaukee. I know they would never admit this.
Yeah.
They want no part of the Mets. You know that. I mean, look, and I love that we're playing Philadelphia. I got to tell you.
The Phillies, the last 2 years, beat a division rival that were better than them in the regular season. So they should know how dangerous this is, considering they did to Atlanta what we're trying to do to them coming up.
No question. I love the fact Senga's pitching. So what's the rotation after that? Who's pitching after that?
So Luis Severino's going to pitch Game 2.
Right, and then Minaya?
It hasn't been officially announced, but Logic says Minaya Game 3.
Back at City.
Quintana Game 4 back at City. And then in Game
David
5.
Peterson to close it out?
See, I think Peterson's going to pitch a lot tomorrow after Kodai Senga. That would be my assumption.
True. You know what? That's a good point.
And
You're
so
right about
if
that.
it gets to a Game 5, I think it's just going to be based on how guys pitched. If Peterson looks great again, it's him. If Severino pitches great, it's him. Like, I think they'll make – we know what the Phillies are going to do. They're going to go back to Zach Wheeler. He's their clear ace.
Of course.
But I think the Mets have a lot of different options on how they want to handle this. But the Senga thing was a stunner only because, he has the rehab start. There's a setback. And all we're hearing about is bullpen sessions. Like, we really expect that the guy's going to come back. But apparently in Japan, he's known as one of the best money pitchers of all time. Like, he's had a lot of big Japanese playoff moments.
Good. Let's go. Let's just get. What we got to do is split this. We got a 3 out of 5. They can split the first 2. I tell you, man. I don't know if I've ever felt like this. I mean, I just, we've seen a lot of good years. We got to the World Series in 2015 with the Cespedes thing and losing to the Yankees in 2000. This is different. I can't explain it. There's just such a different feel to this baseball team. The starting pitching has come out of nowhere. How about David Peterson closing the game out? Now, I don't know how you feel, but I'm watching the game last night, and I'm saying he's got to come back with Diaz to close the game, doesn't he? I know he's thrown a lot of pitches.
Yeah.
And then I see Peterson up in the pen, and I'm saying, I don't know if I like this. And then he comes in, he gives up a hit right away. And, eventually he gets it done. What a year he's had, bro.
This
guy's come from everybody talks about Vientos. How about Peterson?
Yeah.
We never thought this guy was any good.
No shot at all. I think that his response in that Milwaukee game, a game they had to have. Because remember, he didn't pitch well against the Phillies. He didn't pitch that well before that against Toronto. Like, he started to struggle, but he delivered
a little bit.
Such a brilliant performance against the Brewers in the game they had to have.
Last Sunday. Yep, one hitter.
That I was like, you know what? They should go to him just because Diaz had thrown so many freaking pitches.
Right.
The idea that he was going to be able to come back and get 3 more outs didn't feel realistic, but you're right. I mean, David Peterson and Mark Vientos were on the team last year, and we just figured, what are they? Are they even major leaguers? And they have been 2 incredibly impactful players for this team.
And I have to say, a couple guys, other guys I want to point out. First of all, Iglesias, and you can really almost go back to when he came up and got on the team where this team really took off.
Yep.
He has been unbelievable in every aspect of the game. Big hits. The other night in Game 1, he slides into first, gets the big hit. They take the lead in the game. How about Tyrone Taylor? How good has this guy been? I mean, again, David Stearns, who I was down on, and boy was I wrong, and Uncle Stevie. I mean, Davis. Every guy he brought in has gotten the job done.
Yeah.
And the best move he's made was Carlos Mendoza.
Yeah.
This guy is a tremendous manager. I mean, it's how they play for him, how he has kept this team together. I can't say enough about him, but Iglesias has been unbelievable. Francisco Lindor has become one of the great Mets now. I was down on that trade when they made it with Cleveland. I was down on giving him $340 million over 10 years. I was down on all that. And he has proven me wrong. He plays every day. I know he got hurt at the end of the year, but this guy plays 162 games a year. He plays brilliant shortstop. That at bat, like you said last night, was unbelievable in the 9th inning, knowing he had to get on. He's the only guy that got a couple hits in the game before that. We'll never forget the home run in Atlanta. I mean, the guy's just had a sensational year. I mean, but we could go down the line on basically everybody.
Yeah,
because
I know.
everybody has contributed to this baseball team. Everybody.
Yeah. Jesse Winker. I mean, he pisses off the Brewers. He used to piss us off, and now he's our favorite.
Well,
it's amazing.
Jesse Winker has kind of become the Sean Avery of baseball.
Yeah.
If he's on your team, you love him.
That's right.
If he's on the other team, you can't stand the guy.
Yes.
And that's basically what Winker was. And how about Winker stealing second base in the 9th inning, bro?
Incredible.
Are you kidding me?
And that was so important because we're all thinking the same thing. They need to score another damn run.
Yep. And Marte, who really has had a very good season. I mean, Marte, he hasn't hit a home run since he came back from his injury, but he has gotten a ton of big hits in this series going to right field.
Yep.
He got the big hit. Let's not forget this hit. Right before Lindor hit the home run in Atlanta, Marte got a base hit to right field to set it up. He's on base. I mean, that hit kind of gets lost in a shuffle. It's amazing how everybody has contributed to what this team is doing.
So when we talked a few days ago after that crazy, I can't believe it was this week, but the Monday game against Atlanta, it was this week.
By the way, Atlanta's gone. See you, Braves.
See you later.
See you, Braves.
That Lindor home run was probably the greatest regular season home run we'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And that one is easy.
Yeah.
I've had this question asked to me a lot so far today. You've got a larger frame of reference than I do, remembering 86, remembering 69. Where does Pete's home run rank all time?
Boy, I tell you, it's right up there, and I think it's right up there not only because it clinches the series for them, but because of what it meant to Pete.
Yes.
You know, I think Pete has his moment now. This is, no matter what happens from here on in, if he's playing first base, God forbid, for the Astros or something next year, okay, the Cubs, whatever, Pete has now ingrained himself forever with this franchise. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I mean, this is an all-time moment, and at the most unlikeliest time when the guy just wasn't doing anything. And like you said, that pop-up, just incredible. And I think, you know what? We'll see where he goes from here. He might really take off now, and if he does, they're going to re-sign him. I really believe it. He's coming back. I really do. Now, I still want Juan Soto, and I still got to see Uncle Stevie make the biggest bid there is for Soto, okay?
Right. Yes.
Even though I still think he's staying with the Yankees. But I want to see Pete come back. He deserves to be back. He's an all-time Met, and he deserves to be here.
I know it is so far away, but I'm curious how you feel about this. With the American League being cleared, with the Astros being knocked off, with the Orioles being knocked off, the Yankees are obviously huge favorites.
They're going to the World Series.
Okay.
There's no doubt in my mind. 100%.
As a Met fan, in 2000, I don't think you didn't want the Subway World Series in 2000,
no,
right?
I definitely don't.
Do you want it? Do you want it in 2024?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you. I hate to go here, but this is how I'm thinking. I should not do this. I don't want to do this, and I want to be killed when I do it. But I'm not saying it's happening, but it is all there, man. You got the Phillies. You got the hated. Would like to stick it to the Golden Boy in L.A. Okay, all right. Mr. All-Time greatest player that ever breathed. All right. And by the way, how's your interpreter doing? Anyway, stick it to them. And then play the Yankees. And I'm going to tell you this right now, and every Yankee fan, I don't know, Marash is out there, every Yankee fan will admit this, you do not want to play us.
Oh, you got to be kidding me, Joe. I want you guys bad.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Big Van Severino going to crap his pants in the stadium.
All right, we'll see, bro. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We got a little magic going. You don't have magic. You just got the same old. Now you got to get it done.
Soto's the same old, Joe?
Well. We got to win. Let's see you win.
You know why
they cleared the path for you, bro? You got it.
You're right about that.
You got to walk to the World Series now. We don't have to walk. We got to go through the Phillies. We got to go through the Otanis. So we got a long way to go.
No, you're right.
That's right.
And we got a long way to go to get there, and we got a much tougher road to get there, as you know. But this team's got a little something.
It's weird.
And I'm not saying they're winning the World Series.
Right.
All I'm saying is they got a little something going here.
They got magic. Meanwhile, the Phillies, Dodgers, and Yankees have no magic because they've had to sit on their tuchuses for 5 days. I think there's oddly a disadvantage to these teams who have to wait there for 5 days.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, the only thing with the Yankees is they're playing teams that are total house money teams. I mean, you're playing Kansas City, right? I mean, let's be honest. I don't see George Brett anywhere. You know what I mean?
Lugo's there, Joe.
Yeah, I know. I get it. And Witt.
Bobby Witt's great, yes.
Right. Yeah. But like I said, I don't see George Brett getting ready to hit one off Goose Gossage, to the moon, or hit 3 off Catfish in a playoff game, or the one he hit off Grant Jackson in the Chambliss game. I don't see him there.
Right.
Okay? And that was a great rivalry. You guys weren't around for it, but
I like hearing about it because they genuinely hated each other.
The 70s rivalry with the Yankees and the Royals, and the Yankees beat them 3 years in a row in 76, 77, and 78, and then finally the Royals won in 80. That was one of the great. I mean, that was must-see baseball, as good as it got back then. So I just want to throw that out there. But this is not the same Royals. And, but we'll have to see. Is this a championship Yankee team? That those teams were. This team now has to prove that they are. But it's all set up for them. It really is.
Look, the road is American League Central teams. I mean, that's the road.
Yeah.
But now
how good is Cleveland? I don't know how good
they've had a good look. I think the Royals are no pushover. Bobby Witt Jr. is a tremendous player.
Right.
They still have Salvador Perez, who haunts my dreams from 2015.
Yeah, no, I know.
And I think the Royals have a really good pitching staff. I was saying this before. I think the Royals have the starting pitching edge in every game against the Yankees outside of the Garrett Cole game. I really do. When you look at their lefty Cole Reagans, who's really good, and Seth Lugo. But nevertheless, you're right. The Yankees Yankees are prohibitive favorites.
Prohibitive favorite.
And they got to get
If you don't
there.
get to the World Series this year, Sean, man, I'll tell you, man, when are you getting?
Joe,
when are you going?
Joe,
I mean, come on.
Everybody better be fired if they don't get to the World Series.
Amen. Amen. And by the way, thank you so much for Carlos Mendoza. I mean,
he's
how
great.
Boone, he's just unbelievable. I didn't even know who this guy was, to be honest with you, and I just love this guy. I wish he could coach the football team.
And think about this: the two former lieutenants of Aaron Boone are facing each other, Carlos Mendoza and Rob Thompson.
Yeah.
Speaking of the football team.
Yes.
This is me being crazy. Tell me if you're with me on this. All the negativity from this week. You know, the Aaron Rodgers, Robert Saleh cadence thing. Garrett Wilson made a comment that appeared to be a shot at the offense. I don't think it was.
Right.
Everybody's kind of down. I actually feel very good now going into London against the Vikings. What's your feel going into this game?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel. I'll say this. I'll say this about it. As long as we got this quarterback, I feel we got a chance to beat anybody. I mean, I do believe that. He didn't play his best game last week, you know. And I don't blame him for the loss. I mean, he was running for his life the entire game. He got the beat out of him. You know, the offensive line has got to play a lot better. They got to be able to run the ball. They got to be a little smarter on the goal line. Give Braylon Allen the football. Why not? I mean, look, the Vikings are due to lose. They're 4-0. They're not going undefeated. You know, maybe a little of the Sam Darnold, the bloom comes off the rose here. So I got a feeling Rodgers is going to have a big game here. I really do. I feel confident because of him. I'll say that.
And then we'll be set up for a huge Monday nighter,
Right,
Jets
against the Bills.
which, not to look ahead, would also be the same day as Game 2 of the NLCS. I'm just saying.
Right.
Just pointing that out. That
so
could be on it.
Tomorrow is 4:00. What is it? ESPN again?
No, now it's Fox. FS1, I think it's
They
on.
stink too.
Yeah.
Fox is terrible.
Look, we're screwed. I mean, we don't have Gary, Keith, and Ron.
No, it's horrible.
It doesn't matter.
They
got to
do something about that. You know, at least what they should do is what they used to do when I was growing up, and have in the World Series they'd always have one of the local announcers do the games. They don't do that anymore. They should. So what is that? Smoltz Fox?
No, I don't even think they're getting
Adam
the A
Amin.
crew. Yeah, because
Who?
Adam Amin, he calls a lot of Giant games, Joe.
Does
He calls
he?
the back end of the NFC.
Okay.
And who's doing the analyst work? Do we know?
I think it's Pierzynski.
AJ Prison.
Oh, is that who it is? AJ Brzezinski?
What a disaster.
That's a hard. Oh, my God. That's painful. All right, so 4:00 tomorrow. Sunday, what time?
4:00 on
And
Sunday.
Wainwright, by the way, Adam Wainwright.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. But just who I want to see in Met playoff games.
We're
Adam
giving
Wainwright.
Wayno.
I mean, come on.
God. Yeah, 4:00 Saturday, 4:00 Sunday. They have not announced the home games on Tuesday and Wednesday.
That could be afternoon games, right?
I think they will be because I think they're going to put Ohtani and the Dodgers in prime time.
Right. And so when are the Yankees playing tomorrow?
Tomorrow they're at 6:38, and then Monday, because they have an off day Sunday, Monday at 7:38.
They got an off day? They haven't played for like a week, and they get an off day again?
I know, it's crazy.
I mean,
game, off day, game, off day, game, off day, game. It makes no sense.
And what's the early game tomorrow? The Guardians?
No, tomorrow is, oh my God.
It's gotta be,
yeah,
right?
you're right. It's everybody, actually. Everybody plays tomorrow, so it's the Cleveland.
But the Guardians are the early game, right?
Yeah, they're 1:00 against Detroit. Right. Mets are at 4, Yankees at 6:38, Dodgers, Padres at 8:30.
And who's this big left? What's the left-hander for the Tigers, the big pitcher? What's
Tariq
his name again?
Skubal.
Skubal.
Yeah.
Is he pitching now? Is he pitching tomorrow?
He's not pitching game 1 because they used him in the wild card series. So I think he's coming back for game 2 against Cleveland on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, I was watching the Tigers because I had interest in Houston only because to see if the Yankees were going to get them out finally. And I'm watching. I'm telling you, bro, I don't know anybody on the Tigers.
No,
nobody.
Guess what? Tiger fans don't either. I mean,
who are these guys?
It's amazing what they're doing.
Obviously, I know a lot of Astros. I know, obviously, Altuve, Bregman, all these, Jordan Alvarez, all those guys. But, I didn't know nobody on the Detroit Tigers.
They've been an incredible story. We'll see if they can keep it going. Joe,
Really?
Thank you, man. Have a great weekend, bro.
All the love. See you.
The great Joe Benigno. You can catch him tomorrow right here on the Fan at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning.